Hey guys, today I'm going to be installing the HandT connectable ceiling rails. But first, let me show you something. I do not at all recommend doing this, but I'm pushing 200 pounds. And just to show you and demonstrate how strong these things are, I can completely hang from it with no problems at all. So the HandT actually includes everything you're going to need. The lag screw, a drill bit for the lag screws, which is actually magnetized. I've never had a drill bit included that's this nice before, and a pilot hole drill bit. The only things you're going to need beforehand are going to be a drill, a stud finder, and a ladder. So to connect the rails together, all you need is 2 screws and 2 nuts. You simply just take the screw, place it in, and then hand tighten the nut. Come in with your drill and slowly tighten them down. And your rails are connected together. So when connecting the rails together, make sure we're using the short screws with the nuts provided, and not these longer ones. The longer ones will go through the top here to keep the bins from falling out. Another thing that's awesome about these is that they are connectable. Most other ceiling rail options on the market aren't going to have that connectability feature. So if you have 24-inch ceiling joists, then you're kind of out of luck with some of those. So realistically, you can connect as many of the rails as you want together. Just keep in mind your ceiling space. You would just repeat the process that we did just now over here. For 16-inch ceiling joists, they're measured perfectly, so 1 bolt in each of those. For 24-inch ceiling joists, you would start on this end still, and then your second bolt would be halfway through that second rail. So it's best to know where your ceiling joists are before you buy the product. So to do that, I use my stud finder and I measured out. I have 16-inch ceiling joists. So then, once you find your joist, you're gonna mark your 16 inches for me. But I'm gonna mark it with a pencil. Make your hole, and you should be good to go. It's also important to note that when you're drilling your pilot holes, if the bit punches straight through the ceiling, then that means you're not in a joist. So you gotta use your stud finder and relocate the joist. It should be solid all the way through as you're drilling. So for installing, we take the drill bit that was included. It's magnetized, so your screw should fit nicely in there. My pre-connected ceiling rail. Line it up. Holes are aligned. So we just drilled our first one in on that hole. So for getting the proper spacing, I'm going to hold the lid of one of the containers that I'm using up. I already pre-drilled my holes, so I know the spacing and what it should be. I'm going to line those up. The biggest thing is making sure that the lid can slide freely from end to end. Once you have that down and your holes are aligned, you can take this out, and then you would take a pen or pencil and you would mark there, there, and in the back. They should line up pretty accurately. So when securing your boxes in, you take a medium-sized bolt that was given and a nut. Get it started. And then with a Phillips head on your drill, open that in place. Then your box is secure. Do this on this corner, and then you do the adjacent corner on the other side. As you guys can see, I decided to store one vertically and the other 4 horizontally. I did this just, it made more sense space-wise in my garage. And also just to show you guys that you can do either or depending on what your needs are. The HandT connectable ceiling rails are definitely a big improvement and really open up and unlocks a lot more space in your garage or any other space that you may put them or need storage.